Our invitation is to clarify when I am communicating, what is it that I am seeking to communicate? Rather than oversimplifying a word or a term or a concept, let me get deep to the point. And yet, we oftentimes will vilify the darkness and exalt the light. We will vilify the term negative, even though that's yin, and we will exalt the positive, yang, rather than bring them together and have them operating in balance. Because negative is not bad and positive is not good in and of themselves. So let's start saying what we actually mean, rather than something being negative and that's bad, because that's the feminine, that's the dark, that is the void from which all things come. Maybe let's refer to it as non-life affirming and refer to the other as that is life affirming. What does it mean to, we speak of faith, and yet one can have non-life affirming faith because that's worry and dread and fear. And even the concept of fear in and of itself, because we talk about eliminating fear and getting rid of fear. And yet, if I am in a burning building, it is the fear that gives me the adrenaline to get out. So fear in and of itself is not the enemy. But am I allowing the fear to be life affirming or non-life affirming? Life affirming fear, get out of a burning building. Don't go down that alley. Non-life affirming fear, I don't think they're going to like me. Well, what might happen tomorrow? Doom and gloom. How do we begin to get greater clarity of what it is we desire to experience and create in this world that works for all? Even that, what does that mean? What does it look like? What does it smell like? What does it taste like? How do we now begin to sit at the table and actually discuss, what does this look like? What does it mean? A world that works for all must have equity and justice. Well, let's start speaking that into being so that we can now create it. Well, for us in New Thought, in Science of Mind and Spirit, we understand that that which is the infinite, all-powerful presence of it's all there is. Circle, circumference, nowhere, center, everywhere, all that it is, as Dr. Holmes said, whatever is true about God is true about you. So you are that. You are that. The word that what you are that. Now, that means your life is the very expression of. However you communicate, whether spoken, whether written, whether it's a text, whether it's an email, whether you're doing American Sign Language, whether you're using emojis, memes, pictures, photos, images, whatever it is that you are doing, including body language. All of these things communicate. And if they are communicating, then that is your quote unquote tongue. It is the manner in which you are expressing the divine truth of your being. How are you communicating that? So when we compartmentalize and refer to certain words as bad words, but what if that word adequately expresses what it is I need to communicate? Why is it a bad word? Why are any words bad? The word itself isn't what's bad. It's the context or the meaning that we have assigned that word. When we show up, does the person that you say good morning to feel the power and the presence of the universe of love itself in the way that you say good morning? How are you today? Vance, I love that tie. Is the divine power and presence of the all that is communicating through, is the essence of the divine showing up in the words? And I don't mean just what's coming out of your mouth. I mean all that you are, is it showing up? Dr. Holmes reminds us that the study of science of mind and spirit is a study of first cause, spirit, mind, that invisible essence, that ultimate stuff of intelligence from which everything is birthed. Everything comes from it. It is the power that is not only back of creation, it is the very manifestation of creation. It is the thing itself. It's all there is. That means it is what you are right now. Do you feel that? Do you embody that? Do you allow that to be what is communicated? Breathe and pause. Allow it to sink in because Adrienne Marie Brown reminds us that, or asks the question of, do you already know that your existence, who and how and what you are, is in and of itself a contribution to the people, to the place all around you? You, who you are, what you are, how you are right now is contributing to the global energy of a world that works for all, or a world that's been working based upon the way it's been working since it's been working the way it's been working. Do we want war to end? Do we want there to ever be a generation where we say, remember back in the year 2020, whatever it was, there was actually a war and wars until such time as people evolved their consciousness and now that whole paradigm is eradicated? Well, that begins now. So when we use words and we say things like, I don't have a dog in that fight. Why are we fighting dogs? I'm going to kill two birds with one stone. Why are we killing birds? I'm going to kill time. When I get there early, I'll just kill some time. Why are you killing time? If we want to eradicate such violence, then maybe it's also how do we evolve our language? I understand it's poetic. I understand it's ripe with metaphor and analogy and all. I get that and I understand that. But there is a time for that. And there is a time for, let me communicate more clearly what it is I am saying without automatically pulling from the tree of, here's a common indoctrinated phrase that I have learned since I was a child. And now let me just spew that back out. If we are going to remain open at the top, and as I always say, open at the bottom as well, light and darkness, yin, yang, both together, balanced in alignment with that truth, then it greatly benefits us to have a clearer method of communicating who we are, what we are, why we are, and what we desire to experience in this thing called life. So say what you mean and mean what you say. So what does it mean when we talk about the sacred? And we'll say things like, it's all God, so it's all good. Well, if that is in fact the truth, then war is good, and it's not. So let's start clarifying and saying, God is all there is, and the infinite goodness of all there is present. And yet there are people, because of their divine free will, they are using it to cause hurt, harm, and trauma based upon their current paradigms, based upon how they are understanding the collective consciousness as it is imbued in and through them. So we want war to end, then we have to shift that consciousness. We have to evolve the collective consciousness, and we do so by having greater clarity. We do so by speaking with greater clarity, not just in our words, but also in our actions. How do we show up as the very embodiment of the divine? Because keep in mind, Dr. Holmes reminded us, one of the greatest problems with this new order of thought is that we engage in too much theory and too little practice. So let us engage more consciously, more actively in the practice of science of mind and spirit. What does that look like? But what does it mean to practice the art of, the teaching of, the path of science of mind and spirit? Beyond the words that are used. Don't quote Holmes. Don't quote Emma Curtis Hopkins. Don't quote anyone. Let your life be the demonstrated expression of the quote. Let the ways that we show up express what it is we are referring to. So rather than talking about love, right? Because if I were to ask you, do you love someone? Most of us are going to say yes, there's someone we love. Can you prove that it's love? No, you can't prove that it's love. because love is a word. Your actions demonstrate that you actually care. Your actions demonstrate that you are nurturing and supportive of whomever this is. Your actions, not the words. Yod he vav he. I am that I am is commonly what it's referred to. What I was told was it's actually not I am that I am. Actually, it's I am that I am ever becoming. Now, when we refer to I am, the I am indicates I am a dancer, then that means you dance. I am a scientist, then it means you do some form of science. I am a botanist, then you do botany. Ernest Holmes said, I am not religious science, you are. I am religious science, which means I do. I show up as the very activity of science of mind and spirit. Not just when I'm meditating, not just when I'm praying, not just when we gather in Sunday service. I am religious science. I am the embodiment of science of mind and spirit when I am washing dishes. Because that is not a mundane activity when we understand who is doing this. The infinite incarnating as me is washing, and actually those aren't even dishes. They are an expression of the divine showing up, incarnating itself as dishes. So this activity is God washing God, using God, coming out of the faucet, which is God, using soap, which is God, and a rag, which is God. I, God, am cleaning God. It is a spiritual practice that gives me greater invitation into everything I do becomes spiritual practice. There is no more, well, that's just mundane. That's the boring. That's profane. That's sacrilegious. That's, stay away from that. Don't talk to them. But they too are God incarnating. Daryl Davis has made it part of his life mission. If you don't know who he is, jazz musician, black guy who has made it his mission to communicate with Klansmen, befriend them, show them who he is, which changes their hearts to such a degree that they relinquish not only their beliefs, but also their robes, which he then collects the robes of now former Klansmen. You can't do that if you can't see beyond. You can't do that if you are not ready, willing, and able to actually embody the infinite expressing itself right here. All of it is. So you are the word, and how you show up is the very expression of this word. Breathe. And the African American oral tradition, which is deeply rooted in the belief and the power of the word, says that Nomo, the word, is believed to be the very life force itself. And to speak is to make something come into being. Well, we speak in the way that we show up in a room. Body language, our facial expressions, all of it is communicating something. So if we're going to really, and I mean really, jump into this, then our invitation is to fully and embody. So when Dr. Holmes says to desert the truth in the hour of need is to demonstrate that we did not know the truth in the first place, then let us revamp and be invited into a new space where we not only know the truth, but we live the truth. So that someone who doesn't even understand what science of mind and spirit is, they see the truth in how we puppy poop scoop. They see the truth in how we retrieve mail. They see truth in how we stand in line to get groceries. They see the truth when they see us. Breathe and be the very word of creation. It's already what you are. Namaste, blessings, much love.
There is a power for good in the universe greater than you are, and you can use it.
answer to Spirit's call. I am the one within, ever present, ever near. I am the one you see, whispering softly in your ear. Within your heart there is a door. Step through into the light, the arms of love await you. With these golden wings take flight. I am the infinite presence. I am the one in all. I am the truth in beauty, the answer to Spirit's call. I am the one within, ever present, ever near. I am the one you see, whispering softly in your ear. Within your heart there is a door. Step through into the light, the arms of love await you. With these golden wings take flight. I am the infinite presence. I am the one in all. I am the truth in beauty, the answer to Spirit's call. I am the one within, ever present, ever near. I am the one you see, whispering softly in your ear. Within your heart there is a door. Step through into the light, the arms of love await you. With these golden wings take flight. The arms of love await you. With these golden wings take flight. The arms of love await you. With these golden wings take flight.